Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Hey Lauren,
Hello,
good to see you.
Happy to see you. Hi, Claude. How you doing?
hello everybody. I'm doing very well since the last time. How about you?
When was the last time you were on us, Fireside?
I think it was maybe a month ago, no?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like once a month.
Yeah,
It's nice to get in touch with everybody.
yeah, for sure. Alex, welcome to Fireside Hang.
Yes, I'm excited. It's my first fireside, and I'm glad I've gotten the honor of joining you all this time around.
We're really happy to have you here. This is a partnership I am very proud of, and I'm very eager for everyone to learn about it. So why don't you introduce yourself, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Alex Gornett with Major League Hacking. I'm on the partner success team there, which is just the fancy way of saying I get to work with cool people like Lauren and Claude and the rest of Midnight team and many other partners like that to bring their technology and bring new builders into the ecosystem. I think, like many of you all that probably have unique stories in the tech, I kind of happenstance fell into where I am now. I was actually a chemistry major in college, always a very big science nerd, but I also played tennis. And so I was very set on playing pro tennis, which luckily I got to do for a couple of years afterwards. And then the real world hit. And I didn't really have a plan, which was what my plan was all along, I suppose, because I was always of this mindset, I'll just figure it out from here, and ended up getting connected with a founder who was doing some work in the IT apprenticeship space, and then jumped over to MLH a few years after that and have been here ever since. But really love what we're doing at MLH. I'll talk about that in a little bit, and I think you'll find why I find it so exciting, why we're so excited about this partnership.
I'm so curious to see if there are like parallels between tennis too and what you're doing today, because I probably imagine professional sports in this there are, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I feel like there's the cliche, right, of whenever you play sports or do pursue anything in a realm that you really care about and are trying to go far with, you learn a lot of life lessons for sure.
Totally.
Okay, yeah, it was very nice to hear about that. Can you tell us more about MLH and so what do you do as a company and what you deal with at MLH?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Major League Hacking, or MLH as I'll call it from here, we run one of the largest communities of developers in the world. And if you're like me before you had heard about it, you're probably going to be mind blown when I tell you how big it is and the reach we have. So our mission is simply to empower hackers, empower builders, empower developers, empower anyone working with technology to learn and advance in their careers or get started in the industry. We've been around for about 10 years now, and we've actually had over 1 million people now come to one of our events and join our community. And every year we're reaching about 1 in 3 computer science students across the world, which once again, I don't know how I hadn't heard about this given the space I was working in, but it's kind of bonkers if you really think about it. The way we've grown so much is that we have a chapter network all across the world. And so there's about 4,000 chapters on universities and schools and campuses and communities, and we have a presence in 98 countries now. So very close to getting to the triple digit century mark, which we're really excited about. And I'd be shocked if we don't hit it by the end of this year or early in 2026. But over our time, something around 10% of software engineers in the US have come through our alumni base now. And another fun fact I always like to share with people is that there's tons of founders, and there's a good chance if you go and talk to your coworkers or next time you're at a conference or an event and ask them about Major League Hacking, someone has either been to one of our events, got their start building in Major League Hacking, or learned something cool. The whole reason Major League Hacking exists is to help people bridge the gap between the classroom and the real world of technology. And what I mean by that is if you think back to the things that are taught in your university courses or maybe the online course that you're doing, a lot of times it doesn't directly translate to the real world. And so everything we do is underpinned by this philosophy of learning by doing. And we want to create spaces and we want to foster communities where people can come together and do exactly that. And so that looks like hackathons, internship type programs, capstones, and other events like that. And what we do is we help people and empower them to have the resources and the tools and everything they need to be successful in tech.
That sounds amazing. Thank you very much. Also had the pleasure to work with some of your colleagues during the last hackathon, and very professional people. It was very nice working with them. Talking about the last hackathon, so we had hackathon together with the Midnight and MLH. So we had a partnership during that hackathon. Could you tell us about your experience during during that partnership and during the hackathon with Midnight?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So we've actually been partnering with Midnight now for about 18 months. But the most recent version, or kind of this most recent phase of our partnership, we decided to try to take a new approach and do something different. What we had originally been doing was distributing or promoting Midnight across our MLH Hackathon League, which is we're doing about 50 hackathons or so a year, but every year MLH has hundreds of these. And so we have boots on the ground where we'll introduce people to the technology, and they can build with it, have a chance to win a prize, but walk away knowing how to get their start in the Midnight ecosystem. This time we took a different approach, and instead of going for the wide scaled outreach, we did a single hackathon that was Midnight specific. And we promoted this across our community that had an interest in Web3. And something a lot of people might not know is that the interest in building with Web3 in our community is actually at an all-time high, and about 70% of people say they want to build with it. And that might be interesting to you to think, because it was like 2020, heading into 2022 is when the peak is, but that's not what our data is showing us. And for a lot of people, what we hear is that they don't have a space to come do these things. And we've done some Web3 and blockchain stuff in the past. And so we decided, well, let's give them that space and let's do it with Midnight. And I was very wowed with how the event went. Not that I didn't think it was going to be successful, but the scale we were able to achieve was absolutely incredible. We had almost 1,800 people register for this hackathon, which is just mind blowing if you think about it. And
Bonkers.
most of them were net new builders. When we asked people about their experience with it, 80% had never built in blockchain, 90% had never built with Midnight, 85% had no clue what zero knowledge proofs were, which is the technology underpinning everything in Midnight. And so not only was it this great way to bring awareness to the cool things that Midnight is doing, but it also gave people to learn about the technology. And now they have a springboard to continue building in the ecosystem moving forward.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Did you notice a difference between having a hackathon on Web3 in general and a hackathon on Web3 with zero knowledge? And is there like a difference in the developers that you attract? Are there challenges, for developers?
So I think the big thing is really that there's this pent up demand there, to be honest, right? Of, like I said, 70% of people want to build in Web3, but the number one reason we hear from people is that they don't know where to get started. And I don't think that's uncommon for people that want to get started in Web3 and blockchain, right? It still is a pretty new industry or space if you think about it. And it doesn't have the traditional entry points that some of the other technologies might have to. But that's where MLH is perfectly positioned to come in and show people what that might look like. Something I do think also that helps us out is, like I said, we've done some of those events in the past. So we are able to go back to people that had participated in a blockchain fellowship, let's say, or participated in another blockchain event we did, and give them another opportunity to come and build with it. And that's exactly what people want, right? The other thing that we hear is that they feel like they don't have the skills to get started sometimes. And for MLH, right, that's a myth. We're here to give you the resources, give you the space, give you the support and mentorship you need to do that. And that's exactly what this hackathon was all about.
Yeah, I feel like when we look back at our first year of our partnership, it was so much more of a, let's just try and get the word out. It was awareness and like, oh gosh, have you heard about Midnight? No one had heard about Midnight. And so it was, I don't know how successful it was. I think we did do a good job about just like getting the word out maybe to young folks out there on college campuses. But this activation play was the move. Like this brought builders. I mean, well, actually, should we transition and talk about the fellowship, about the 4 teams now?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
Oh.
So like Lauren said, right, there's kind of 2 components to MLH, right? You have to have some sort of scaled outreach to where you're building awareness and people are hearing about your product. And there's a power to having that sort of reach and having multiple touch points where people can learn about that. But at the end of the day, you also want people building with the product because you want new builders coming into the ecosystem. You also want to be getting feedback from them so you can make the experience better, make it more accessible. And so that's what the hackathon was all about. And we actually paired it up with our fellowship program. And so what the fellowship program is, or the way we've structured it for this one, is you can kind of think of it almost like as a project incubator. And so what we did was we took the 4 winning teams from the Midnight Hackathon, and they earned a spot in the fellowship to continue building. And they get access to the Midnight Foundation team, DevRel team. So people like Lauren, people like Claude, Samson, if you've met some of the other ones here, where they'll get direct mentorship. And then MLH comes in and also helps with the actual mentorship for them to make sure they have everything they need to be successful. What's really cool though is that these are projects that have legitimate use cases and legitimate viability in the ecosystem. And so, for example, I'll call out a couple of here. If you're at the Midnight Summit, you might even get a chance to meet with these teams or talk to them about their projects. One team built a marketplace for clinical studies that leverages zero-knowledge proofs to improve data integrity while also maintaining data privacy. Another project built a tool that allows users to maintain financial privacy for income verifications using zero-knowledge proofs. So there's a lot of cool privacy applications that are coming out of this that I think people have been hungry for and like are most certainly needed. If anybody follows news or looks anywhere, there's a new data breach at least every week, and Midnight's a really cool solution for that. And the fellowship is a way to nurture those projects and give them the space and give them the support they need to take what was a cool idea and take that and flesh it out and turn it into a real world prototype and start working more towards an actual product and business.
When I met the teams last week, I said to the Medicare team, I was like, I use this use case all the time when talking to folks about the value prop of Midnight. It's so cool to meet a team building it now. And now I can talk about you. I can talk about students that are creating it and talk about how you're building it and how you're creating the best practice of it. And it was neat to be able to kind of like put a face to it as well. It just feels really, I'm so excited to see where they go with it as well. And I hope that they continue building beyond the fellowship as well. I think they all have goals of seeing their projects become real applications. I would love to see them get, investments or, it become a real thing and a life of their own. But I know they're students. I know that they have other things going on in their lives. So it's a balance, I suppose, between it all.
Yeah. I think something that always excites me with the MLH community and that I'm always amazed by is just how creative people are at the hackathons, right? Like you said, you've been throwing out this use case and then now somebody has built it, right? And they don't have a box that they feel like they have to operate within. So both for the ideas they bring, but also for the product feedback, right? You're going to get really, really great insights from them,
for sure,
especially for people that haven't built with it. But when you get 3 or 4 excited developers together, they come together for 48 hours, you get a lot of cool stuff built. And I think that's what we see constantly at our hackathons. It's what we're seeing at the fellowship here. And we'll talk a little bit, Lauren and I have some big dreams for 2026 and beyond, but I think we'll have even more fun stories to bring to the Midnight community and the Midnight ecosystem over the next 12, 18 months as well.
Well, I think this is something that Swift, one of the co-founders of MLH, says often, and I borrow it as well. And it's the concept of like, I'm too old at this point, right? Like I can't think of the most novel ways to use Midnight. And I don't think that we have even begun to cover the use cases of what we can do with this tech. And so the value of going to and hosting hackathons and reaching out to, oh my God, it sounds so cliche to say like the youth, but we know that they're going to be the creative brains that help us push the boundaries of what's possible with it and be innovative and novel and groundbreaking. I don't know. I hear how trite it sounds, but I see it every day when we look at these use cases that these students are coming up with. And we have some really big hackathon plans for the future coming. And I cannot wait to see what happens or what comes of it. And I know it's the right investment. I have always had a weird balance in relationship in developer relations with hackathons. I think I historically have been suspect of it, of like pirates and people gaming the system. You see those folks that just like make a career out of hackathons and moving on to the next thing. And I want people, when they hack, I want them to stay and I want them to keep investing in their concept and, take their project and proof of concept and keep building it, et cetera, et cetera. But what I love about MLH is you're not really monetary incentive based, right? Like you have kind of peeled that part away from it. It's really about investing in the journey, the education journey. And I think that there's something philosophically there that I'm really resonating with. And so yeah, you're helping me rethink the model in general. And I think that that's helping Midnight Foundation rethink it too. And so we're thinking through how do we invest in the projects that come out of our hackathons? And of course, yes, folks, don't freak out. We will have monetary incentives with our hacks too, but in the future. But I think we also need to figure out too, how do we make sure that we can, support the projects and nurture those teams to ensure that they stay in the ecosystem and feel supported and celebrated, and that they have opportunities to get investments, and that their pitch deck gets built up to be ready to be invested by big investors and from the ecosystem internally, but also beyond. And anyhow, I attribute that to y'all as well for helping me really shift my perspective on it.
Yeah, no, it is. I think the thing I'd reiterate there is that MLH, our approach to hackathons is first and foremost, it's a place to come to build and learn together, right? And obviously we want a prize, whether that's monetary or a cool Lego set, whatever it happens to be that people can win there, right? That's such a fun moment, and we want people to be rewarded for that because it is a competitive event, right? But our belief is that you're there to learn, you're there to help others, you're there to build something cool, and the competitive environment just happens to bring out the best in everybody in that sense.
Okay, go ahead, Claude.
No, maybe I was just wondering if there are a use case that either you've seen or that you haven't seen yet in a hackathon that you're very excited about, that you think that Midnight would be a good fit for.
So I don't know if I have a specific one I'd point to. I think I'll speak more thematically. Something that I think about a lot is data privacy, right? And like I know that's so general to say, but I think just with the way the world is going, people, at least I found, and maybe I have a bias because I am one of these people, right? Want to have more ownership and say over how their data is collected and how their data is used and retained, and what is it used for, and have that information there. And something I think is really cool about Midnight is that there's such a spectrum of things you can do with it, right? Is like you could fully have your data guarded, but there's also this sweet spot I think you could find where you accept that, and using a free product, the data element is part of it, but your data could then be anonymized in some way or abstracted away, or there's a healthy balance between using data to inform product decisions and inform where businesses are going, but you yourself are not necessarily the direct commodity. And I think it's a complicated question. It's a complicated thing to navigate, but I am excited to see what gets built with Midnight, especially as you all go to mainnet and as the product continues to mature and as you all have more builders. And I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on the things we're doing in Major League Hacking. Like Lauren has said here, the projects often aren't at the point where you would take them to an investor per se, but you can see the formation of an idea there. And if you look big picture, there's just so many cool things that get built at hackathons, and a lot of hackathon projects get turned into legitimate businesses, and go on
We
to
see
become.
people in the chat that are stories that are success stories of that. Eric, I saw Sergey, they are our hackathon to official partner
cool.
pipeline. Yeah, exactly. And
Cool.
I'm so proud of, we sing those stories all the time because that's the funnel that I want to see. I want to see all of them do that. And yeah, but no, that back to the data protection, like that's selective disclosure. That's what we keep talking about. That's the narrative we're trying to push of that we should all have access to selective disclosure to decide what we disclose and share with the world. And I should be able to decide to tell you all what my last name is or where I live or etc. And right now we don't get to decide that often. And so I totally resonate with that completely. Yes, I saw some questions in the chat. By the way, I just want to address some of those. I think someone asked if Midnight is replacing Cardano, and we are not. We are a partner chain of Cardano. And thank you. Jonathan also is addressing the question in the chat too. And it looks like it's on Twitter too. So thank you for even responding via, oh my gosh, I am such a millennial. I cannot adopt the word X. They're responding in it via a thread as well, a post as well. So I appreciate you doing that and giving a response, because that will be in for posterity of the response there too. Alex, to go back, one question. Do you have countries, by the way, that you're scoping out, that you're trying to get into to bring that 98 to push to 100? Because that would be a cool number to get to for the end of the year.
I don't know if we have specific ones. And so for everyone's context, right, the major markets where Major League Hacking is going to be North America, so the US, Canada, and Mexico, with the US being the biggest one there, Europe, and then the Asia Pacific region, which with it mostly in India. But because of the way our programs and events work, it's a federated model, right, where people can start chapters on their local universities or on their local campus, or just in their local community, and still get resources for us. I'd have to go and look to see exactly which countries we're in. I can't say I know all 98 of them off the top of my head.
That would be wild if you did.
Yeah, that'd be like some weird party trick,
Totally.
I think. But it'll be fun to see which two do tip us into
push you over
into the 100.
That's awesome. Part. Well, congrats. That's a really cool stat. Yeah. No, I've been shouting about our stats that you all helped us push over the line. Yeah, thank you again for everything. This partnership has been huge for us, and you've brought, I believe, as a prior teacher, I believe in, bringing students along for the journey, right? The awareness play, it's a long one, right? I hope that the students that we interact with at these hackathons at MLH go on to become the change makers at, epic companies, and in the future, when they're needing data protection, it could be years from now, right? That they think, oh, I know of one that's awesome. And they might not even be thinking, oh, I need blockchain, but they just are thinking, I need programmable privacy. And that they think of us, right? That's going to be the win. And yes, it's a long con, if you will, but I will be thankful for that moment. And it'll be because of MLH.
Yeah, I think something that's really cool, and Swift, who's the CEO and co-founder of Major League Hacking, he often says this, is the hackathons that people use at the technologies people use at hackathons, especially early on in their careers, often become the technologies they adopt and use the rest of their careers. And so
loyal.
Swift's example is that Major League Hacking runs on many of the same technologies he learned 10 years ago when he was starting out hackathons, right? Or new ones that are getting picked up as he and others across the team are going to hackathons. So hackathons and the other events that we do, right, which are all designed around, like I said, that hands-on learning, are such an effective mechanism to introduce your technology, turn people into champions, and then inspire others to build with it, which is what we want to do with Midnight. And I hope I'll be back here. I think we will. And if not, keep an eye out just for cool noise across the ecosystem of things we're going to be doing, because I'm very certain there will be. Yeah,
Alex and I think we've teased enough. We have some really big dreams of what we want to do, and I really, really want to see some cool. Yeah, the future is bright, I think.
Yes, definitely. The question for you all that Lauren and I keep coming back to is how do we get people into the ecosystem? How do we keep them in the ecosystem, and how do we enable them to continue building in Midnight? And so all these initiatives, all these programs are fundamentally rolling up into that in some way. And so that means finding net new builders. It means having ways for them to continue that journey. It means collecting feedback so that your all's lives become easier. Right. I know something we found out at the Midnight Hackathon we ran, Jay pushed a fix within like 24 or 48 hours. And so there's a lot of overlap between the things we're doing and other things unrelated to us in the ecosystem, but we're all going to benefit from it.
Exactly. Yeah, we want active developers, we want engaged developers, sticky people who stay, loyal, like people who are wanting to contribute, be active and participant. Yeah. I that's the dream, at least. So what Claude and I are believe we can do. And yeah, well, anyway, I appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. If anybody has any questions on Major League Hacking, I will be hanging out in the backstage here, so I'll keep an eye on the chat. If not, go find me on the interwebs, and I'm happy to chat some more with you all.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Alex.
Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Claude.
Okay, so who's the next person coming?
Yeah, so we have Sam joining us. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi, Karan. Hi, Karan.
Hi, Taran. You and I didn't introduce ourselves earlier when we were prepping for this. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm super excited to be here as well. Sam was also like, we have been looking forward to more activity on midnight, and now it's happening where we can participate more. We were one of the first teams to deploy something on midnight, so very excited. Nice. How are you, Lauren?
No, okay, let's I'm so excited to tell for you to tell your story. Sam and I met recently while at Token, and I when I heard your story, oh my, I mean, I was blown away, floored, genuine, jaw on the ground. I'm obsessed. So I think we should start there. Can you tell us how you started? Well, introduce yourself. Who are you? Who are the two of you? Let's start there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sam, you want to start?
Yes, Sarva.
Yeah, so I I started as a community member, so I'm like a huge um, blockchain enthusiast. Like, I studied my undergrad in computer science. I studied my masters also in computer science, and like huge blockchain enthusiast. Started as a community member, been active in many um, networks, like multiple, and finally landed in Cardano, and post that been as a community member, invested in multiple projects, seen it like from ground up, then started our own project called Nucast. I'm founder of Nucast. So in Nucast, we focus more on IP and IP ownership related products. We have been building products since almost 3 years now. We have built products where you can own your IP as a digital asset, like 15,000 of those individual digital assets were sold through our product. And we even have hosted film festivals, music video festivals, which are online, like worldwide participation from we had like whole some eight, I guess somewhere like some 40 countries or something, like 86 different places people participated. Not sure on the countries, but it was very unique, diverse, where and the tickets were sold as NFTs, so people who purchased the tickets could actually vote on chain. And it's like a decentralized voting itself. It's not us selecting who has the best submission, kind of a thing. It was super interesting. We promoted it on Instagram, because all of that is something like when we do um, something unique like a film festival or music festival. This is some completely different from our regular X bubble, Twitter or X bubble. So we get to tap into a new audience who are not aware, but who want to explore, who are not in a bubble. So it's a good mix. We have met like incredible so many film schools. We had interaction, so we did like, and we showcase them that they can monetize their IP through our platform, from our platform. And Noom is where you can sell music as well. It's a
Oh.
yeah. So
Cool.
This
So
was,
that's their exposure to it. Okay, so that
yes,
makes so much sense. So when I saw the music video festival, I was like, what are these boys? What are they doing? But then they see that they can monetize.
yes,
Oh, that's brilliant.
yeah, and
Oh my gosh.
we,
I was like, wait, how is this all connected? Okay, I love it. I
yeah.
love it.
So most of the time, how glad you like it. So, but most of the time, how we try to think is like, I feel like not only financially incentivizing things, but something more community driven, more than finance, something if we can do which is not related to finance. If we were actually even thinking of doing a music concert kind of a thing which a lot of people attend, and in the concert we wanted to do NFT ticketing, so people are onboarded, and they then we have all the in app applications where they can engage with blockchain. So more focusing away from DeFi and all of it, tapping into the other crowd, because we're a IP company, like films and all of that stuff. That's where, and it's been pretty interesting. We'll be doing one more next year as well. So it's the music video festival is happening, and we did ticketing for a couple of huge events, even one of the summit worldwide in 28 countries. Our ticketing was used, NFT based ticketing, and it was dynamic ticketing. So um, where the status of the ticket is updated, like NFTs usually they don't get updated, right? So we built a unique way where we can update, so someone, if they use the ticket already, when the other person is purchasing it, he knows that this ticket is already sold. So it updates on the image, so it's visible kind of a thing. And I think huge, we can have really interesting use cases with
I
ZK.
was just going to say, I can think of a lot of use cases in
Yeah,
which ticketing would really benefit from data protection.
yes,
I mean,
especially in the, yeah, in the age verification. Yeah, and
age, I mean, I don't need to be giving all of my information,
yeah,
like I would just love to prove that I have bought the ticket and yeah.
and the tech, I think, like in India, they started implementing it at a government level. Like in government we have something called Aadhaar cards, which are the main verification card for whole India. Like I guess a lot, like everyone has it in India. And in that we already have some technology which is not as good as zero knowledge proofs, but in that we can scan it, they just get the specific data they want. So it's like one of the unique use case of using Midnight or ZK is like data sharing, but with exact what is required, not the whole thing. So I think in ticketing, there'll be a great match, and we have a whole ticketing platform. It's really great. So I think something that we would love to work on. And we built on-chain subscriptions as well. So it's like uh, right now when some sale or something happens, like it's just one time, right? If you're providing a service, like for example Tap Tools is a service where you can see whale wallets and everything, but how the service is selling previously was like just one NFT sale, and post that you get 1 year of subscription. But after that, there'll be some people who just want it for 2 months. So we built a smart wallet where you can deposit that money, and it can be used by all service providers in that blockchain, like a credit card. So it acts as a smart credit card where the user signs for permissions. Like we love building, and we have built a couple of products as well, but IP and is where we focus a lot. And besides that, we even do a lot of hackathons in India. So we hosted three hackathons, in which the last year was like a road show where we did it in 6 cities. When we started uh, like for pushing Cardano in India, like Cardano Summit was where we got started. So when Summit, the first one, when community led events, which are done in India in 2023, was done by us. Back then they were like so many holders, but not many people who know how to use their tokens or understand the ecosystem. So it's been a great journey. First event we had like 30 people attending it, and now we have like 300 people attending our event. So and like huge interest increase. And when you were talking about hackathons, that's what is always on our mind, where we feel like there are people like pirates kind of a thing. That's what even like one of our partner company who we know, like that Masumi, where they do hackathons as well. And it's the same feeling we were discussing, like they come, they hack, and like after that they'll be gone kind of a thing. Like it's a serious problem, but how at least one way of how we see is like if there is any opportunity for open source development and they get paid for it, that's how they stick. Or else how we have helped in India is we have helped hire them to other companies in our network. So like so
Yep.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you mentioned.
Yep. Big time. That's definitely what we're thinking about
Yeah,
right now. Both of those things we're actively working on. And actually a couple other things. Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm
So this
very aware. Totally.
this hiring thing, what happens is, since we are from India, and there'll be many startups on our, because decentralized and we worldwide, we can we do mention with worldwide startups mentioning that it helps with your runways. So we try to promote this, so the students are also incentivized. So it's like a bubble kind, like we should create a effect where like the companies are interested to hire, the students are interested to participate. And if one student is hired to some company, there'll be like 50 more thinking like an opportunity, so they study, spend time on it. So uh, yeah, this is about the hackathons. And now I think we got funded for our next hackathon as well. So we'll be doing the next iteration next year, and we really look forward for having midnight in there. Like in this hackathon only we had midnight stickers, and the students were asking what they were all kind of thing. And we mentioned like something really cool is coming up, so just start reading about zero knowledge proofs already kind of thing. Yeah,
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 that's very interesting. So all the things that you were talking about are you build on Cardano, right?
yes.
Yeah. Have you
Like,
started building on Midnight, or like is there anything that you tried, the tech, and how did you feel about it?
yeah, so we built most of the products. Few of them are EVM compatible as well, because there were some creator requests, like a Japanese 400 years old art was monetized through us. So that creator had a request that he wanted to sell on Polygon as well. So we have some of the products EVM compatible as well. And building on Midnight, I guess Sam is the best. We have been building, so Sam is the best person to talk.
Yeah, about midnight. I've been part of like the first initial 100 people on the DevNet back in like October of 2023. So it's almost like 2 years building on midnight, and I really enjoy building in midnight. And it's just not just me in our team. We have like everyone that's like new to our company, our new hires. Everyone's like getting trained on midnight, and all these products that we have, like our AI and IP products. We are planning to like integrate and enhance our products with ZK. So yeah, I mean, we also launches like when Midnight was in DevNet, we did this public POC on how we plan to create proof of ownership with ZK, so people can access IP without revealing their personal info. And yeah, again, we built an AI and IP monetization solution in last year's Rarivo, for which we won the first prize in the Rarivo Hackathon Midnight track. So we are constantly building on Midnight, and we also won out of like 5 proposals we won in Catalyst this time for our Midnight centric. So we're actively building on Midnight.
Sam, say my favorite sentence that about your experience building on Midnight and how it's been, how learning or how easy or hard, compact
I think
is.
the compact is like super easy and like
That sentence, yeah, that one.
yeah. And
We just don't hear that very often, Sam. I love it. I just like.
I think compact itself. So this is like something I'm hearing from like the junior developers that we hire, right? For them, the whole concept of blockchain itself is like really new. They're good at like full stack and all the stuff. Um, so I think yeah, can build on blockchain without like truly understanding stuff, but bits in some components there. But once they get ZK, like them getting to understand ZK is the hardest part. But like compact is like the easiest part
That's it.
in their learning curve.
That's
So
the
they just need to,
differentiation. Yeah. I
yeah,
think, yeah, yeah.
in the ZK way, think in the blockchain way. And then once they start thinking in the ZK way, building on compact has been super easy for them, like especially with um, one of them knowing TypeScript already.
Yeah, there are a lot of things in compact that start making sense, when you understand like the ZK technology and you're like, okay, that's why it works like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
because it's TypeScript, so it looks a lot like TypeScript, but it's not really TypeScript, no? Because there are some like ZK constraints. And yeah, as soon as you understand them, you're like, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything? So what are you working on at the moment on Midnight?
Yeah. So about these 3 proposals, right? So one is New ZK, which is an AI and IP a monetization solution. Charan will like explain more about like our like how we are doing it and like all the partnerships that we have in the Web2 world, where we are working with large media houses in India and expanding to healthcare and even defense applications for ZK based AI and IP regulations. So yeah, how it works is we are creating proof of privacy for AI and IP of these companies, and essentially creating ways to verify AI inferences and also verifying the IP source, and also ensuring the IP is sold under the certain constraints that they have according to the IP laws. So yeah, that's what we are building with New, and yeah, Charan would explain more about like how we are actually implementing it in the real world.
Yeah, so I think Sam did a great job explaining it, but like adding more onto it, like we have been building Neoauth since a while, because it takes a lot of in real world partnerships also to happen. So we met a lot of publication houses in person, which almost like one of South India's biggest ETV. Uh, all of these are like one of really good publication houses. We partnered with four of them. So how it would function is like the publication houses would give us the data, and they'll be like, we have an archive and we have an immediate news thing. So in the archive, we store all of their old 60 years of data. We started it already, so it's where they're in quark format, they're in all weird formats because it's like old style. We're figuring it out. That's where a lot of time is taking for us. But once they all are converted, we have a proof of origin, and from there, when an AI company wants to purchase, it can purchase. So we need not, right now, if some small AI company wants to purchase data about baseball, they'll be like, you need to buy like a $40,000 package on baseball from New York Times or something like that. You can't buy it in smaller chunks like in Amazon, where you have filters, one, two, three, kind of a thing, like level it down. So we're building a marketplace for that data, which is where they can buy it, like just one player for 1 year for like $42 or something, like really small chunks. So, and when the AI trains on it, they get a certificate of authenticity that like they trained on real data. So a lot of IP laws will be coming. Like we meet a lot of these IP people, and they'll make sure these certificates will be required. So even the publications right now, their constant complaint is all of their data is being used without them making a buck. But even right now, when we Google, we just search like what is XYZ, and it just shows up on the small bar right now in Google. We don't even open a link anymore. When we don't open the links, there's no ad revenue for the publication companies, any type of company. So the revenues are down, but the bots are scraping their websites crazily. So yeah, and in this topic, this is where we listen a lot from publisher side, like will our data be secure, like will a whole chunk of data will be given out, like what is the privacy element of it. That's where uh, the whole midnight play comes in. We explain them all of this is happening. So it's pretty huge when this goes live. I feel when New York goes live, so very excited for it as yeah. Sam, you wanna
Okay.
explain the ZK perps?
Um,
Maybe we even plan on building a zero knowledge perpetuals platform.
Yeah, yeah.
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 We should back up and say congratulations, by the way, because I think we're tiptoeing around this, but y'all were the only folks to win midnight related grants in the most recent round of the Catalyst funding. Was it 14? Season 14? Or is that how they phrase it? Seasons?
Fund 14. Yeah.
Fun 14. So yes, there were 3 midnight related
Proposal.
proposals that were granted, that accepted or passed, if you will, and Nucast got all of them, and
Yeah.
congratulations, that's huge. Like that is so impressive. And Sam and I were talking earlier today, and I would dare say that it was almost 4, because you bet your bottom dollar that Midnight is going to be a part of that hackathon.
Yes.
So yeah, we are. So anyhow, I don't know if we can get involved in the video festival, but if we can find a way, actually, yeah, if it's ticketing,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, let's be a part
Oh,
of
it's
all of
like
them.
all.
Heck yes. Oh, look at us. We just did it. All right. This is so
Thank you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's
For
huge. It's awesome. It's so cool.
yeah. And like it's something really exciting for us as well, because New Auth we have been putting up from so many funds, and this is the first time it got accepted. And one of the reason is like I feel the community sees as well that we have been like super active on Midnight since DevNet kind of a thing. So, and even first prize in Rare Evo. So I think that helped maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great. Is there one of these projects, like from the three projects that got accepted, that you're excited about, or that you think it's a real use case that people are going to use and are waiting for, and they're waiting to use? I think there's something that you were talking about, the ZK perps.
Yeah, so
Yep.
New Auth is one of it where we really excited for, because we spent a lot of time and it's like a Web 2 use case. So it'll be a complete different audience. But ZK Perps is like we all are from crypto, and definitely trading is something we
That's
all.
why I ask you.
Yeah. So Sam would explain ZK Perps
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
So we got it funded in the concept slash MVP category. So we are right now in the R&D to build this ZK stack in which we could roll up all the order matching, liquidation, um, and all these stuff into ZK circuits. And using ZK for perpetuals also comes with like benefits like anti-front running and also privacy enabled trading. I think we would also reduce a lot of transaction fees and would make the whole experience a lot safer, secure, and faster and cheaper for the traders, and especially knowing that no one would front run your trades would make the platform the best use for the retail traders. So that's what we are working on at the moment. The ZK Pubs one.
Okay, sounds great. What about the off-ramp that you were talking about? There's something about payments?
Oh yeah, so that's where that's an off-ramping solution which off-ramps your crypto directly into Vice and Cash App. So we how that works is we have these like KYCs, everything done on the ZK, and the payments, the Web2 payments happen first, and then we create proofs for the Web2 payments, and the Web2 payment is initialized when the crypto is locked into the escrow. So the end person who initiates that off ramping to the Cash App wouldn't know the wallet of the one who is off ramping, and yeah, so on and so forth. So we're just creating end-to-end privacy in the whole off-ramping experience. And that's going to be an open source solution. We got it funded in the open source developer category. So really excited for it and see how people would use it into their businesses or spin up their own versions into their platforms.
Excellent. So we
We
get to
might
get
even
that.
use it on our ZK pubs too. So
So, Claude, we can
yeah.
get that added to our awesome dApps repo. And we have
Yeah.
a ecosystem resource that we try to get all templates and
Mhm.
just like anything for new builders and learners to kind of just check out what other people are building to see how best practices and how other people are setting up their repos and whatnot. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, but what if it's open source? Like, it's going to be an amazing
Exactly.
resource to add. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because
All
yeah,
of the
you've been building.
proposals are, yeah,
Oh, go
all
ahead.
of the proposals are open source. All of these three. Yeah. Yeah, so the
Cool.
Midnight part is open source, and we have built previously open source, like we built on-chain random number generation, which was a problem previously, where it's like without even we, no one has control over the outcome using on-chain parameters. We have built that, and that's being used by many projects in treasury management and some lottery projects from gamification projects. So that's an open source thing which we have contributed, and
Awesome.
yeah,
Oh, we should celebrate really quickly. Totally unrelated to this, but Claude, we haven't celebrated to the community yet that the Node repo is open source. I think that happened last week. So community,
Oh yeah.
right? I think we're really close. Like we're really, really close. We might have 1 to 2 more repos left. So folks, we're like so close to getting almost done being completely open source. So yeah, we're very tiptoeing close. But anyhow, yeah.
yeah, amazing. And yeah, I was just mentioning more open source. We even built like gasless, so when someone does a transaction, the project or the DApp which they're interacting can pay for the transaction fees. So we built even that library as well.
Cool.
So like, yeah.
And then can we talk about Trevolve, that entity or what that project
Yep.
is working on too?
Yeah, so I lead the tech that Revolve do, and then recently we had this project go live, the forensics management solution, which we are in collaboration with the Uttar Pradesh state government, which is the most populous state in all of India, and which has 10 million plus forensic cases every year. And yeah, so we are using Midnight uh, to anonymize the evidences and their alias IDs, which goes through the transit in 18 regional forensics labs. So we are using Midnight for the anonymization at the moment, and we are also researching ways to create interdepartmental privacy.
So
And that's
you are using Midnight at the moment for a real world use case.
Yeah, the Midnight component is not live yet. Like once we go mainnet, we are planning to push that to production as well.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, so the Indian government is live on testnet, and that clarifies things. Okay, got it.
like I guess the government really wants what is the outcome, so they would and it's like a 280 million population state, so I think that's really huge.
Massive. It's incredible.
Okay, so I think that was a lot of information about Nucast. Thank you very much for coming and for talking about all the amazing projects that you're working on and everything that you're going to bring to Midnight. Like we're very excited to see the future and what you're going to build. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
Thanks for-
true. We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Okay, and to finish this fireside hang, we're going to have Jay coming.
Look who it is.
So I don't think Jay needs an introduction.
We cannot hear you, but we can see you, and we're grateful for that. And we still can't hear you, but we are going to just chat about the topic that he is here to chat about, which is open source. And what a great transition that we were just talking about open source with Nucast and the fact that we're only 2 repos away from open source. Jay, you can try while I'm just filling air. Do a refresh of your machine or of your browser. 2 repos away. Mid-November is what I'm thinking we're targeting.
Nice.
So like, let's throw a party. Jay is always smiling. Love his vibe. Me too. welcome back. We missed you. Let's try again.
No, still not working.
Fascinating. Try a different microphone, I wonder. Do you have a different microphone?
No.
Curious if Nucast was or is a project for streaming? No, Nucast is the team that was just on, and was the team that received the grants from
Catalyst.
Catalyst,
No, Jay, still no sound.
I mean, your computer probably has a microphone, so that one has to work, right? I
It
know
doesn't work.
it'll be bad quality, but like we'll still hear you.
No, we hear a keyboard. No, where is that coming from? Is it
Oh,
Jay?
me, that's
or
me.
is it you?
Sorry.
It's you.
I was responding to a Slack chat of people talking about this.
I thought it was Jay.
Oh, that would be nice. Well, we might not have an update about Hacktoberfest. So yes, Jay was gonna give us a update about Hacktoberfest, and I mean, let's see. Do you want to type what you were gonna say to us, Jay, and I can read it to everybody? I know that you've pushed a couple PRs today, and I approved them. So yeah, can we share this the screen? Yes, I can. I bet I can show my screen. Let me do that now. Hacktoberfest contributor guide. Samson, if you can show that on screen, I'll do that. Bring that up on. So Jay published this to Dev Diaries, and so, or I guess published this a while back, but added some new bits and pieces to it because we have added some rewards, which is swag or Tree Nation. Well, swag from Hacktoberfest, but then also swag from Midnight. Is that in this bit? No, that's in Zeely, which I guess we could also link here too. Let me pull that up. It's all linked in the blog. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Hi. Oh, wow. I don't know why that scared me. Oh my gosh, my cough. Hold on. I have to mute.
So sorry about that delay. Yeah, I have to check into my mic, but it looks like it disconnected temporarily. If you want to stop sharing your screen, I can share my screen. And if this is the first time I am talking to you all, I am sorry for the technical issues, but
no worries.
It looks like
we're
live.
That was so funny. No, we're live. Welcome back. Hi,
thank you,
how are you?
Pretty well, having a good day up until that very freak out moment, but everything's great.
That was hilarious. Wow.
Okay. So as Lauren mentioned, I updated our contribution guide earlier today. And the reason why was because we noticed that there were issues with the no code submissions. So we wanted to update some of those details. Now, Hacktoberfest is only monitoring the pull requests and the ones that get merged within our repos. So we went and updated our contributor hub, our community hub, so that you can now make pull requests. And I'd love to go over that right now. So if you go over to our community hub, I also made a update to our board. And whenever you go through the pages, you'll find this event section here now. So what we'd like to do going forward is not only for Hacktoberfest, but as other events come up, we want to be able to have our developers contribute their updates, their projects, anything revolving around the events up until this repo. So we have one here right now for Hacktoberfest, and we have instructions on how you can create your pull request so that you can merge it into the community hub. So here's the details on where you'll find the pages. You can find this within the events folder within our repo. And here's the details you'll need to fill out. So your project, your team name, make sure this is all lowercase. Just repeating your team name here, your project title, and then links to your actual work. So if that's a repo and let's say you want to share that with us, you can provide the link here. If you recorded a demo and you want people to review that demo and watch that video, you can provide that link here. And if it's something like a Twitter post, text-based content like a blog, you can provide the link here along with your name and the team members that contributed to this. This is additional information here, like the tech stack or the tracks that may apply to the hackathons you're participating in. And then here you just provide a summary of your project just to give us some more context. So idea here is that as we build this out and people start contributing to it, we'll have a section within our community hub where you can view all the different projects that participated either in Hacktoberfest or Midnight Summit that's upcoming or any other events that we have online with hackers. Then as Lauren mentioned, we also decided to update some rewards. And this is something I wanted to highlight because I'm looking at some of the data and I noticed some of the issues with some people participating in Hackathon. So I created this additional issue within our Hacktoberfest. Now, if you notice, if you look at the board, if you haven't seen this, and this is your first time, we are monitoring everyone who's participating at Hacktoberfest, and we're giving people points for participating. And I noticed that some of the most active members, people who are making pull requests and merging, they're not getting points here on Zealy. And it made me think that maybe you're not aware that you could get points on Zealy. So let's go into our quests. And if you go to Hacktoberfest, I want to highlight this new one we published here that specifically outlines all the different activities that you can do within Zealy that you can also get points for Hacktoberfest. So some of you have already done this. One into the Hacktoberfest kicked off, read about that. Some of you have created issues to share with our community, and some of you have made pull requests. So those are within the Hacktoberfest category, but these other ones are activities you can participate in outside of Hacktoberfest. So we've had these quests here laid out for about a month now. And the other quest that you can get points for with Hacktoberfest is technical threads, writing a new network doc or tutorial, building a DApp and submitting it to us, or a video or content. So there's some of you who are making pull requests, but then you're not coming to Zealy to add your links in here so that you can get credit. So I highly encourage you to move over to here, put your information in so that you can get credit, because as Lauren mentioned a little bit earlier, we are now giving away a Midnight prize. So if you go to the swag section here, you can see that our top 3 participants will be given a Midnight t-shirt for participating in our hackathon. So we're monitoring your points. If you're interested in competing for one of those t-shirts, fill out that last quest and you will provide us with your name, your address, your phone number, t-shirt size so that we can send that to you. So those are all the updates I wanted to cover today. If you're participating in Hacktoberfest, make sure you read over this document again. If you have a no-code solution and you're contributing it to the community hub, make sure you put in a pull request so that we can see that and you can get credit for your work. And once that's done successfully, if you look at your own profile, you should be able to see some progress within your own tickets. And then if you go to the bottom of your page, you can see the ones that have been accepted, merged successfully, that we've given you credit for. And if you go over to our community hub, you can see there's tons of issues for you to pick up. Some are specific to Hacktoberfest, some are not. If you decide to pick up one of these issues, again, just create a pull request within our community hub for the non-tech solutions, for the no-code solutions. And then if you are making an update to our docs or Midnight.js or our other repos, you can make the pull request directly there with your updates, and we are already tracking that and monitoring those repos. So those are my updates for Hacktoberfest. I think it's going really well. We have a lot more updates than we anticipated, so I'm excited to see everyone else continue to contribute.
Thank you very much, Jay. It's very exciting to see like all these people participating in Hacktoberfest. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I think that's going to be the end of our fireside hang for today. So yeah, it was really packed. There were a lot of people and a lot of things to learn about. But it's a very exciting time for Midnight. A lot of people are building, and the ecosystem is evolving very quickly. So stay tuned, and let's see what Midnight is going to bring to the future. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening and for tuning in, and see you next week.